months and months and months. Do you remember how many it was? Kim Rosenberg, was it 37 million?
38, 39.
38 million. Guess how many watched Sarah Palin last night? We've just gotten the Nielsen numbers in, and the headline is more than 37 million U.S. households watched Sarah Palin last night. You talk about first impressions. This, for America, was honestly a blind date. I mean, you don't decide, even if the blind date goes great. You read the same books, you talk about the same stuff. Neither one of you likes broccoli, and both of you likes fried food, you know. Nietzsche ain't your thing, but you kind of like Faulkner. It all kind of works, right?
Yeah,
what kind of blind dates have you been on?
But you don't decide who you're going to marry from a blind date. And it seems like a lot of people are married to her and they don't know anything about her.
Well, I think that is the right thing. What is the second act? What's the third act?
That's what's going to matter,
when
right?
she goes out on the trail and reporters begin asking her tough questions. The first time she's asked who the president of Azerbaijan is and what she would do about our policy there, and she may not know. So, you know, there's a lot. 2 months is a lifetime in politics.
But she's bringing a lot of style to it, Shep, and
ain't no doubt.
The main thing.
And we're going to get to all that in a minute. We got to hit a commercial break because we believe John McCain's on his way in the House, and we'll let him know 37 million watched his VP pick last night. Barack Obama certainly has a lot of material from last night to react to. But, you know, they're saying the same old thing. They keep going back to the same talking points, the 90% voting record, the out of touch, the whole thing.
Except those are the talking points that work.
I know. Well, all right. We'll see if they come up with some fresh ones, though. The Obama camp is now in uncharted waters. That's next as our coverage continues from the Republican National Convention. There's Barack Obama. We'll get his response. And look here inside the XL Energy Center. That's a live look up on the catwalk. See, they've changed the stage, and they've separated what else but the Iowa delegation. John McCain's coming up. Back live from St. Paul, Minnesota, don't you know, where last night Sarah Palin tried to make her case in an introduction to the country, really, that she's a regular mom of 5 facing the same family problems that every other mother faces. After all, before this particular election cycle began in the year 2006, and it did begin then, we had candidates in 2006. Before this election cycle began, she was the mayor of a town of 9,600 people. If that isn't just average American, I don't know what is. With a section of fellow hockey moms in the crowd to cheer on last night, she made her pitch.
I had the privilege of living most of my life in a small town. I was just your average hockey mom and signed up for the PTA. You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
That's a line she's used before, but I got to tell you, that line was not in version 8 of the speech, which is what she was reading last night. So she either ad-libbed it in there because of all the teleprompter problems that she was having or something, but it worked. The shout-out, a clear appeal to that valuable female vote. But will it work? Or are women really past the gender solidarity issue? Back with us, Democrat and former Fox News contributor, or current Fox News contributor, Howard Wolfson on the far left, Republican pollster and strategist Craig Wilson in the middle, and press secretary for Bush Cheney 04, Terry Holt. There is clearly a women want thing going on. Hillary Clinton made sure that it's the case, and she also made sure that Sarah Palin will be able to ride the coattails of, don't say something negative because that's sexist.
Well, look,
thank you. I'm sure they're saying thank you.
The Democratic convention did a lot of good in bringing the Clinton voters into the Obama camp. We went from about 50% of the Clinton voters for Obama to about 80% now. So a lot of good work was done last week in Denver. 20% still hanging out. Clearly an appeal to them last night. You know, if you're a pro-choice voter, if you're for gun control, you're probably not going to vote for McCain-Palin.
Who votes on just single issues like that?
Well, those are 2 issues.
I know, but you know what I mean.
But, you know, can she make some movement around the margins? It's possible. And clearly, as you said earlier, a lot of women were tuning in and listening, very curious to what she had to say.
And, you know, Republicans have been campaigning for years on wedge issues, sort of separate so that you can say you're over here and you're over here, now you have to stay over here. Is it possible that the Democratic women may have been trained that way and they won't come because of those wedge issues? Might that work against you?
I'm never going to imply that any group of the electorate's been trained, so to speak, but I do think what we saw last night, it was an outreach to women, and I don't think the Obama campaign is helping themselves very much here. I know Howard's in a difficult position to talk about this, but when they start saying a well-delivered speech, there's that condescension again about, oh, well, she didn't write it. These aren't really her beliefs. She she's just up there as a trained puppet to deliver this speech. It's unfortunate because it is condescending.
Look, I've watched a lot of sexist behavior over the last 2 years. Okay, I know sexism when I see it.
He said condescending.
I understand. And the Obama campaign has scrupulously avoided the kind of sexist attacks on this woman that we have seen in the media. It's the media that has raised questions about whether she was fit to raise her 5 children, not the Obama campaign. In fact, Barack Obama made clear that no one should be able to do that in his campaign. If anybody did, they'd be fired. So it's fair to raise questions about her experience or lack thereof. It's fair to raise questions about whether or not she's been a good governor. Nobody's questioning whether she's been a good mom in the Barack Obama campaign.
It is very fair, and I tell you what, the red meat crowd on the Republican side, there's a red meat crowd on the Democrat and the Republican side. The red meat crowd is protecting her like a newborn, and we can't ask any questions without them going crazy in the blogosphere. We, the American people, need answers about how she has governed and how she will govern. We need access to her, and that means journalists need access to her. Terry, is it your sense that we're going to get it and get it soon?
Well, but it's not unusual at the very beginning of this process that she gets to say her piece first.
But next.
And we're going to see her out on the campaign trail. I don't think there's any question that she'll be an asset.
But we need her one-on-one. Do you think they'll offer
patience.
that?
I know that you've got to be really high on that list.
But
if anybody's going to get that interview with Sarah Palin, it's going to be
But I would, I wanted to talk to somebody because the people need some answers to some important questions about governing in Iraq and the economy and all kinds of stuff.
And this is an introduction. I think the opening act, she's clearly a hit with people. And then the second act, obviously, there's some substance behind this woman. She runs a big state, the biggest in the country, in fact, with some experience. And I don't think that's going to stack up well with Obama.
More in a moment. Stay with us.